The Blue Lock Chapter 328 leaks, God, are finally here, so as always, spoilers ahead. Last week we watched the Great Value version of Blue Lock officially kick off with Side B in its first game, as Nagi, Seishiro, and Kira finally met and formed a team. But the chapter ended on a much different note, with Jinpachi stepping into the locker room and asking Isagi for a private conversation. So now is it finally time to see what this was about? Is Igo about to congratulate Isagi and push him even further, or is the father that stepped up about to put straight belt to ass for that bold comment about how Ego soccer is not enough for me anymore? Anyways, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join the Discord, and without further ado, let's get right into it. The chapter opens with Isagi and Ego riding an elevator up to the roof of the Blue Lock facility, talking about Isagi's final goal in the Japan vs Nigeria match. Ego asks him straight up what his intention was with that last play. Isagi goes on to admit that he just aimed for his own goal as an egoist and did what felt natural, but he immediately starts wondering, is Ego mad at him? And it feels so wholesome here. It's like a little kid being lectured by his dad, but he's not even being lectured, he's low-key being praised here. Ego goes on to explain that since they already had a massive lead, that final moment was the perfect time to test out a new idea and a new way of thinking. Also, side note, Blue Lock really is out here with tube elevators straight out of a Minecraft mod pack. I mean, this facility is insane. Ego then gets serious and explains that if that kind of gamble play keeps continuing, it will cause confusion even among teammates who cannot instantly respond to it, and Blue Lock's formations and tactics would completely fall apart. He tells Isagi that that kind of playstyle is only meant to be a substitute weapon when there's room to spare, not something you build your entire foundation on. Isagi accepts it, apologizes, and says that he understands, but then he hesitates and asks for permission to speak honestly. As the rooftop door opens and they walk outside, Isagi tells Ego that he feels like he's getting close to discovering the theory where he himself can become the best in the world. Ego is visibly confused by that statement, and Isagi then drops the bomb and says that Ego soccer alone is no longer enough for him. And I mean, hey, when he said it during the match and muttered it under his breath, I didn't think he'd have the balls to actually say it to Ego himself, but man's out here yapping. It's kinda wild because it's basically like telling the CEO his whole company is outdated while standing in the company headquarters, but that's Isagi for you. Now fully on the rooftop, Isagi is completely blown away by the view and starts geeking out like a kid, saying this place is huge and the view is insane, joking that Ego can even come out onto the field too. Ego heard what he said though and instantly shuts that down and tells him this is for emergency use only and not to get the wrong idea. Isagi awkwardly backtracks and shifts the topic to the highlight video Ego sent him of the Japan vs Nigeria match. Ego tells him that if he's going to go that far, then he wants to hear the theory that surpasses his own. Isagi admits that when he watched the clip, it expanded his image, but it also made him realize that with only his power, no matter how long he lives, there is a limit on how far he can go. Isagi continues by saying that now he has truly felt that pain, and it's exactly what he needed to face it head on. Now he can clearly see what he's lacking. Beating Noah with just physical ability is not possible even if he were reborn a million times. Then he brings up Loki, Lorenzo, and even Kaiser, saying that in a single match or even a single play, he might win sometimes, but if he looks at it objectively, he does not think he is truly winning at all in pure individual ability. And I'm a huge fan of our main character, but I mean, come on now, did you just figure this out? Ego responds by breaking down his philosophy on growth, explaining that humans have two types. One is the type born with overwhelming natural talent, called a genius, and the other is a type that evolves through application and adaptation, a talented learner, which we already knew this. But we only knew this because it was from Isagi's POV. He is the one who was monologuing this during, the Ubers and PXG match, and Ego never outwardly said this all to them, at least I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isagi though silently listens as Ego continues, explaining that they are not placed in a simple hierarchy where one is always superior. They clash, stimulate one another, and grow through direct competition. And through that endless competition, an infinite chain of level ups is created. It's basically just like an Enderman XP farm. Ego then tells Isagi that someday he will become strong enough to reach the very top of the world. Ego then reflects on his past, saying that back then, football itself felt divine, like it was guided by a god. And from that feeling, the age of the new Egoist League was born. Isagi then realizes that this is where the league truly came from and all of Ego's ideas. This was his origin point. Then Isagi hesitates and asks him one more question. Isagi declares that this is exactly why, not just compared to Rain or Bachira, but compared to all the geniuses inside of Blue Lock, he has to keep being the ultimate talent that makes them feel like they have to surpass him. He wants them chasing after him in an infinite cycle of growth and competition. He begs Ego to give him more and give him a new kind of soccer, because he is going to prove that he can become the best in the world. Ego finally responds and asks Isagi if he thinks that a god of football actually exists. Isagi freezes for a second, confused, and awkwardly asks if he means someone like Zico or the Golden Boy himself, but this man did not even mention Messi or Zlatan or Ronaldo. I mean, what the hell is this ball knowledge? Ego shuts that down immediately and says that he means something far more unscientific and invisible. Ego says that it's the result of perfecting your thoughts and effort to align perfectly, and it feels like something beyond your control is guiding your destiny, a godlike experience of total omnipotence. Ego then reveals that back when he was still an active player, he actually encountered that state himself, but it only lasted for 7 whole minutes, just one time in his entire life. But during that brief moment, everything made sense. Ego explains that back then, the only way he could even understand the performance he pulled off was by believing that some invisible force was at work. Isagi compares it to the flow or luck equation, but Ego tells him that those were just systems he created afterwards to study and reproduce that experience. This man really got geeked one time and said, I cannot stop chasing that high. Ego then asks Isagi again if he truly believes a god of football exists, and Isagi thinks about it deeply and says that if an invisible power that day was truly God, then maybe he does exist. He reflects on the way he first met Bachira, and how during the U20 Japan match at the very end, the ball fell exactly where he was standing. So hold up, first we're going to call it luck, and now we're calling it godly interference? What is this manga? Ego Jinpachi then goes on to say that God will not help him anymore, and that's why he quit football in the first place. He brushes it off and says that he's talked too much anyway and that the discussion ended a while ago. As he turns to leave, Isagi asks him to please watch him. As the two stand face to face on separate parts of the Blue Lock facility roof, Isagi declares that he will go meet the god of football himself to find out what this is all about. I mean, I really thought I was reading a sports manga here, but I guess just like Gachiakata, the main character is out here talking about God and higher beings. Oh my. The chapter then ends with Isagi declaring that this version of Isagi Yoichi that Ego created in Blue Lock will make his dream come true, as a shooting star blasts across the night sky behind him. This has to be symbolic and means so much to Ego, because the moment he's talking about God failing him not believing in anything anymore, the reason he quit football, right when Isagi tells him to stay and watch him go to the top of the world, a shooting star then blasts behind him. The timing is just way too convenient. The closing narration talks about the determination to become the best in the world finally exploding, as Ego tells Isagi to just try his best to surpass him. It's like when you finally start watching WWE or MMA videos on YouTube or the TV, and you try to fight your dad, and he just tells you, hey, come on then, bring it. Overall, this was a surprisingly calm but insanely powerful chapter. We finally got our first true glimpse into Ego Jinpachi's past as a player, complete with his own aura manifestation, which is something fans have been asking for forever. This also low-key confirms that Ego and Isagi understand each other on a completely different level compared to anyone else in Blue Lock. Ego's not just testing him anymore, he's actively pushing him beyond what Blue Lock itself was designed to do. Could this lead to more one-on-one coaching later or talks? Probably not directly, but the favoritism allegations are definitely going to be cooking again. Also, was it just me, or seeing Ego talk about how he quit football because God failed him or didn't stick around anymore just made me so sad. I really can't wait to see that explored more because I feel like his backstory goes really deep. With that, next week's chapter is titled Don't Give Up, and we could either flashback to Side B and finally see the birdcage game kick off properly, or we could jump into one of the U20 World Cup group stage matches and see what actually happened and how the world stacks up. Either way, things are only getting crazier from here as France is quickly approaching us, and Isagi is talking about meeting this god of football. Whatever the case may be, make sure to comment down below any thoughts and theories you have brewing. And of course, no matter what, if you enjoy staying up to date with the Blue Lock manga or just want to support my channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the community Discord down below. Thank you for watching this far into the video, and I'll see you all next time.